Hello, hello, all you beautiful people, and welcome back to another show, Live with Nicole, Return to Consciousness. Today is the most amazing day. Well, every day is the most amazing day, but today is even more amazinger with a big A. So we have with us Nico Hansen, and I am going to let Dennis share a little bit more about him in just 1 minute. I'm going to first welcome all the callers or all the listeners, and I'm going to welcome the callers because the phones will be opened up today. I want to first give the winner for last week's entry, which how you enter for a free healing. I'm kind of going backwards today, so as you all know, I'm not in the linear time, so we're gonna. So luckily we have patience with Nicole. So we right now, if you're watching on Facebook Live, in the comments, drop your name of anybody that's a loved one or a friend, family that you would think that would benefit from watching the show and from receiving a healing, because later on you're going to feel and see what that looks like. So drop a name and then share on your page. And then after this, we're going to go back, we look who's done that, and then we announce a winner. And so this week it's Amy Collar. I think I'm saying your name right. So go ahead, and if you're listening, I will do a private message to you after as well, and we'll set up a time for remote healing for you. So congratulations. So we have Dennis Allen also back with us. He has really did some amazing work with bringing Nico Hansen here. And why I'm not sharing all of that information is because I thought that their story of meeting and the energy around that is where we work in that energy, that experience world. And so I love, instead of me reading his accolades, which are beautiful to you, is really feel the experience and then apply it to your connections in your life now. Because imagine those times that you're jumping into stuff and you're wanting to meet, your desire to meet people, but yet you hesitate to make that step. So I thought, hey, let's have Dennis share their experience of how they met, and a little bit in that story you're going to know who Nico Hansen is as him,
Sure.
as this magnificent
being.
Absolutely.
So I first met Nico Hansen. Actually, I met him. I had a friend of mine who said, you should listen to this CD. It was the Highest Form of Enlightenment by Dr. David R. Hawkins. And in it, there was this chanting, this amazing, deep chanting. I just felt it very viscerally. And it was calibrated to be at a very high level of consciousness. And I thought, oh, muscle testing, applied kinesiology. If it makes my muscles go stronger, I'm going to listen to this when I work out. so that's totally what I did. I had the CD, and I was listening to that as I worked out, and it was amazing, and I did see some better results. But I did this, just didn't think too much of it, and my kids thought it was interesting hearing this weird chanting. What is that? Oh, it's this chanting. It's a chanting of the Lotus Sutra. It's pretty cool stuff. And for a couple of years I did this, and then I thought, I've got to reach out to this guy and tell him thank you. I've never met him. And so I looked him up. I found him on his Blue Domers website and made a phone call. And that's where he answers the phone. That's the first thing that surprised me. And I said, hey, I just got to say thank you. I've been listening to your chanting for the past couple of years. It just blew him away.
I'd have never thought of that.
And then the real interesting thing was he ended up being living in Arizona, and I went down. I was happened to be going there, and we met him face to face, and that's kind of how it went.
So the synergy there was immediately, huh?
Yeah, it was really profound. And then when he explained a little bit about more insights about what the chanting was, the wording behind it, it just really shook me to the core. I'm like, this is courage, this is dedication, this is devotion, this is like our theme today of back to self-love. So it was really powerful for me.
That's interesting that Nico says that you weren't expecting that result from the chanting.
I would never have thought of somebody listening to my chanting and exercising. I just, it would not have occurred to me. So I put that out at Dr. Hawkins' events, and they put it in a thing called The Highest Level of Enlightenment. And it went out, I guess, to thousands of people, because I keep hearing from people that are listening to my chanting, and I'm going, wow, that's good, but it'd be even better if you chanted yourself, because it's not really. I never thought of it as a being watched kind of thing. However, I did chant the sutra with Dr. Hawkins over the course of from 2001 to about 2007, everywhere he went, and so it became pretty widely distributed at any rate. And then one day, somebody in Canada, I don't even know the guy, posted it on YouTube, and now I have 4.5 million hits or something on my chanting that I never even knew was up there unless somebody would have told me.
Nice.
So it's the attractor pattern kind of thing, I guess.
Yeah. So for those who don't know what chanting is, do you have an idea or to share with them what that is?
Well, I can do I can do the short version here. But it's basically the Lotus Sutra.
I mean, chanting in
what is chanting?
What is chanting?
Right.
Like a lot of people don't know why people do it. Before we give them the beautiful blessing of the chanting, I feel that people are seeking what is chanting. Like what
Well, I chant. I practice Nichiren Buddhism, which is a lot of people have probably heard Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam is a devotional term that's in all kinds of Eastern philosophies. A lot of chants start with Nam, and it just means devotion. So it means I'm devoting myself to Myoho. Myo means birth. Ho is death. Myoho together is the mystic law, because it's hard for our intellect to wrap its little tentacles around birth and death. And we all have all kinds of things. So it's the mystic law. Renge means the lotus flower, literally. And that's used throughout all of the Eastern philosophies, because the lotus both blossoms and seeds at the same time. So that's the simultaneity of cause and effect. Every thought we have plants a seed, okay? And that's when we're chanting Nam Myoho Renge. When we get to Renge, that's where the lotus flower blooms in the muddiest swamp, and all of its roots are down in the swamp. But if you pull the lotus down into the swamp and then let it go, it pops back up on the top of the swamp, and it's still pure white. It's like Teflon, okay? So it's that is to the function of non-attachment in this world, okay? That we go in the mud, but we don't have to get any on us, okay? And Kyo is through my vibration, right? And that's the title, actually. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo is the title of the Lotus Sutra, which is what I will chant in its full form. I'll just do one verse, but the Lotus Sutra was the last enlightened. That's the sutra where the Buddha exposed his enlightenment, and about how thousands, hundreds of thousands of eons, okay? And he explains an eon as the time it would take a dove to fly around the world and wipe its tip on the top of the highest mountain. The time it would take to wear away that mountain would be one eon. So he's talking about the enlightenment that has come from what's called Kuan Ganjo, which was time without beginning. Okay, time without beginning is where this Nam Myoho Renge Kyo gets us in touch with, right? Our eternal self, that self that's been around forever. And as we chant, we recognize, we come into the full awareness that we've been around forever. Okay.
So the most amazing thing, I'm just gonna intervene a little bit. So under my clarity is, so when I discovered or heard chanting for the first time was when I went into the Buddha temple in Taiwan, and I had no idea what that was. And then I would go in, I witnessed these monks kneeling and repeating words. And I didn't know what that meant, but sitting there and having this experience, I started to understand the frequency, the energy, the love before I could understand the words. So for those of you that are listening, Nico's sharing what the verbiage means. I have heard a lot of people say, "What is chanting? I don't want to sit in a meditation to what I don't know what I'm listening to. I don't know what it is. I don't know the language." Well, he's sharing what that means. He's allowing you to not have, because some of my clients have had fear around listening to something that they don't understand.
I think another. Oh, go ahead.
No.
I think another thing is a familiarity with chanting. There's another form that people do whenever they set a goal. When somebody sets a goal, it's a nam, it's a dedication, it's a myoho, it's a mystery, it's a beginning of starting something new and ending something old, a birth and a death. I'm changing this old habit pattern and beginning a new habit pattern. And it's the courage. You're going to run into opposition as you're trying to pursue your goal. And you can be like Teflon, like the lotus flower. You can blossom and you can see the results, dragonfly results, or the results are going to show up. And then the kyo is let it go. It's amen. It's a completion. So there's a form of chanting that we all practice in a different way. And maybe the language is different, but it's a different kind of same.
I remember in my documentary you said that. You said Nicole is like a lotus flower. They just threw her under the mud and she popped back up. Do you remember that?
So true.
Yeah. So.
And we all do. And this is the Buddhism of Han Nim Myo. He said this was 1,300 years ago, but he says this is the Buddhism of Han Nim Myo, which means from this moment on. So every morning I chant the verbiage in Sanskrit of the Buddha's enlightenment. I chant that. That is the sutra, right? And I could go into a lot of verbiage about that, but the title is the main practice. Just like I say Dennis, contained within Dennis, the name Dennis is the entirety, right? The essence of the whole deal is in the title. So that is just chanting. The title is what the basic practice is, and it sounds like Nam Myoho Renge Go, Nam Myoho Renge Go, Nam Myoho Renge Go. And when you get some speed, and the rhythm is important, Nam Myoho Renge Go, Nam Myoho Renge Go, Nam Myoho Renge Go, Nam Myoho Renge Go. And it goes faster, and then that is the basic practice. But every day we chant the sutra, which I'll do now, which is the verbiage part of the Lotus Sutra, containing the Buddha's enlightenment in that process. Okay, so on the second half, we're going to have you relax and be in, and so be preparing as we're going into this next half to have Nico chant that the beautiful sounds. Let's just do frequencies and sounds, and this. I would create an intention right now. Ours is self-love and inner child. I think inner child and self-love go one-on-one. And I know that when I woke up this morning and asked what my clients could really use the most, or what message could I share that collectively is needed, and it is self-love. And through discovering that self-love is your inner child, and when that blossoms, everything is brighter. And I have a sense that setting an intention, and it may not be that, go create it yourself. This is your experience. You're remembering your consciousness. You are the only one that knows. So these are, people call them techniques, modalities, practices, whatever fits your scope of moving forward. If you're going to show up
by calling it a practice, then practice it. If you're going to show up calling it a technique, then call it a technique. However, this beautiful energies, there are different energies and components that you're putting in your toolbox right now that we're sharing with you. This is just one of them. So imagine being able to step into this chant, which is a frequency and vibration that now you can identify it with the monks, the Buddhas, and so on for all ancient time. I mean, this is ancient vibrations and frequencies that we are bringing to you today. This is just one that you can create a practice around in the morning, in the afternoon, and the night. Hey, let's just try that. Let's just try that and see what happens. And it's very important to also see where you're at right now. And I share with you every week. Pay attention. Where are you at right now? What does it feel like right now, sitting in your chair, before we bring you this chant and hold space for you to have an experience in your home or in your car or wherever you're at. But if you're in your car, I suggest you pull over. So
I think your point too is what do you do about it? And when you have it and you experience it, I think you're tuning in, you're aligning yourself, you're harmonizing with a particular frequency, a frequency of love, of kindness, of self-love, and now that you've tuned the symphony, your internal symphony, what are your words? What are your actions? What are you? How are you showing up to your friends, to your family, to your neighbors? What's the positive difference that it makes in your life?
You know what, I've really noticed that a lot is that we can share with you all these ideas that work for us, and everything's an idea until you put it in action and create it to work for you. Then it's in your toolbox, workable, right? Until then, it's just this idea. Maybe that's how illness works too. It's just an idea. So why don't you get rid of it? Try that one. But back to us sitting. Embracing this time together and bringing in these energies and these ideas. Create a space within inside of your body. Remember, this whole show is about expansion. It's about moving into the unknown and the uncomfortable. And through that is expansion. And it also is constriction. So if your body, which I can feel a couple of you are constricting right now because you're not understanding the information that's coming to you, I'm going to invite you to breathe in, hold, and release. I'm going to do 5 in, hold 5, release 5. This is going to allow you to constrict and expand your consciousness. This is like, I think I've shared it before, but if you go read a book and you have a golf-size consciousness, that's what you're going to get. But you expand your consciousness and your understanding. You're going to read that same book and you're going to say, holy snap, how did I miss that? That's what we're doing for you today, expanding those cells, expanding that capacity of light. So embrace it and play with it. So
that's powerful. And then bringing it back to the body. If you get floating around in a high level of consciousness, but if you're not able to embody that and bring it back, and the breath work and grounding that and being present with yourself is a powerful tool.
Oh, and Nico will do that to you. At lunchtime, I'm like, hey, can you like put a golden thread around my leg and tie me to my chair?
Pull you back down.
Pull me back into my body because I'm floating.
And I think it's important at this point to talk about the practice as any practice is a daily practice. It's like, that's why it's called a practice, okay? Because every day, it's not like people go, oh, he was enlightened. He's up there. Even the Buddha had a bad day, okay? So it's like to have a practice, you don't have to use mine, but to have a practice that is able to transcend the intellect at some level and take you out of they say you're out of your mind. You should be so lucky to be out of your mind, okay? Because your mind is what's screwing with you, okay? It's that constant internal dialogue. So the purpose of any practice is to turn off the internal dialogue at some point, okay? Because silence sounds the same to everyone. And if you haven't ever turned off the internal dialogue in your head, you have never experienced silence. Sorry. Okay?
So Nico, tell us.
That silence without any without any words is the same to everybody, and it's holy. Okay, that's where we're headed.
Nico, you mentioned something at lunch that I thought was really profound. You spoke about language, about being twice removed.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying language. Language is twice removed from reality. So if I say cow, what do you see? You don't see C-O-W, okay? You don't hear, you see something that looks like an animal, and it's like the reality of a cow is twice removed when I say cow because it's a word for that, okay? So we're getting to just the whole idea of the Buddhist practice is to live in the present moment constantly so that we're not causing problems in the future and we're not dragging up problems from the past. The whole idea is to be in the present. So as we're chanting, it's like, absolutely hold your intention, okay? Absolutely, that's what you're chanting about. Don't chant about the cat in the backyard when you got cancer, okay? It's about chanting about making your daily life your practice, okay? Making your daily life holy. Making your daily life absolutely joyful. That's our only intention as a Buddhist. Joy is our only goal. That's all we live for, okay?
Sitting with I think not Edgar Casey, but I don't remember his name right now. His red hair. He always has these amazing, Edgar Tolle. Yeah, he's a lot of this stillness. But my own guides and people, and most of mine are not here, but ascended masters that I sit with have said to me, Nicole, return to consciousness is unity and love. And when you know you're there is when you know you're in the complete observation state.
Absolutely. I have a scroll and I have an altar and I chant to a mandala, but it's not like I chant to a mandala. The mandala is to elicit. Okay, just like if you're very, very hungry and I come and put your favorite fruit in front of you, you're going to salivate, okay? You're going to go toward that food. The mandala that I have is the same stimulus for enlightenment, okay? So as I'm chanting to the mandala, it's not like it's an exterior force. It is to
remind you.
It is to remind me where the temple of my heart is. It's actually a method for going into the temple of my heart. Okay, that's the compassionate temple.
And I love that because it always goes within. And this is one thing that Nico said, and my clients and the people that come to my gatherings will hit this. I always say, I can show you how I do it, but you need to find your way of how you do it. True. And that's, you said it in different words, but your
well, it's like mine is Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Anybody can say it. Right?
So yeah, so your point then is just finding your own, and everybody has one.
Yeah.
And I'm sharing mine today and chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo and see what happens, in the sense that that's what it's about. Try it. Give it a shot. Because you know about it now, okay? And knowing about it is worse than snake's venom, in the sense that it's just another idea to flout up in your idea being in here going, oh, isn't that a good idea? Well, it's a terrible idea. It's a great practice.
Yeah.
So knowing what you're doing, this means setting an intent to the sound right now, because I feel, since I know a lot of you are having you want to overthink what this all means. So I invite you to listen in the second half of the frequencies and the sounds. Set your intention right now. And I'm going to remind you that you can always follow us at energyhealingbydesign.com. And we're also available Radio St. George 100.3 FM. We are our Radio St. George live Facebook right now. We are also Podbean Live with Nicole and Podbean Radio St. George. So we will be back with the second half. Remember to sit back, relax, and be ready to retune to consciousness. share it. Share your watch. Hello, hello, and welcome back to Return to Consciousness, live with Nicole, with Nico Hansen and Dennis Allen. I am so excited to have fun. I did show you to share us on Facebook and drop names and really, hey, I just started a watch party. So I suggest that you guys might have fun doing that so that everybody can experience this beautiful second half with Nico Hansen doing a chant. And prior, I suggested that you set an intention and really explore when you're listening to this chant. Explore where that intention goes and how it expands. And the intention is going to be really fun because this is through my experience, is that you will all of a sudden have this combination of different things that you didn't realize were going to come up. And as they come up, and it might be clearing, some might be heavy, feel heavy. Shift that in your awareness to, oh my gosh, you're constricting to expand. Woo, that feels good. That feels good. So I invite you to sit back, relax, and get ready to retune to your consciousness.
Hey. And absolutely have an intention, and absolutely it is very simple. The simple part is the title, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. And if you want to use that, you can. It sounds just like that. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho. That's the slow version. And you can learn that today. Now I'm going to do what's the 16th chapter, which discloses the Buddha's enlightenment of the Lotus Sutra. I'm going to chant it in Sanskrit. This is my daily practice. So really, the state that it puts me in is more important than the interpretation of the sutra, although that's important. But for practice purposes, just chanting it says sit upright. So I'm going to sit upright and chant the sutra with the profound realization that this is the last moment of your life. And a common mortal, since time without beginning, will emerge, okay? That eternal self. I'm going to try and put you guys at least with the idea that maybe myself is eternal, and maybe this will be familiar to you, okay? So this is the 16th chapter where the Buddha elucidates his enlightenment. Myo renge go. Hoben Bondai ni de dan du dan my and doni king go dario the do booty din morio go di man lange nan you eat as oman. Yakadi with the double no di do is a go with the do dingo yakadin man on a moto do with the dingo do with the mario do yum yo do dim yo do for man do din. Me do all the way do that the way so long as I to go do but the way I do and do you go and go moto all band and do yo re so that so gun your eye all band chicken not a metal car goes to Casario to do chicken go I din on Mario Moge Ricky Bozoe No gata the mightin you moda do do is I me the o tario tenora no do form and the gold do. Ganji nu na nega do den dario to do yo ganji so is o no de dai no de riki do de. Dun no day and no day and no day can no day on my go do is on no day on no day die no day diggy do day. Dun no day and no day and no day can no day on my go do is on no day on no day. Die no day ricky do day dun no day and no day and no day can no day on no day. Han ma go kyoto no mo myo renge go no mo myo renge go no mo myo renge go. Nam yo holding a go, nam yo holding a go, nam yo holding a go. There. That's it.
Oh,
At least one verse.
yeah.
It takes a little longer, but you get the point.
Yeah. So I invite you all just to move into that energy. Really feel that through your inner core. Now bring that light down. Let's ground that. Let's ground that energy that is moving through your body. Imagine that white light that you came from, that beautiful higher self, God, creator, whatever that looks like. You came from that spark of something. Go there. Bring that down through the top of your head. Feel every part, every frequency hit, every energy that you felt, all that yumminess. Move it down through the top of your head, through the very core of your body. This is practicing. This is being that energy that you just created inside of yourself by allowing Nico to co-create with you a vibrational experience to expand and grow. The most important part is for you to feel and be in this key points. So feel it through your body. Have a go back to memory bank. We have a lot of them that we store that we go back to that don't serve us. So have this key, this capsule of beauty. Bring it into this beautiful space and move that stuff that doesn't serve you, that you've been keeping for way too long. Feel this energy move through each one of those energy centers of your body, which each one of those energy centers govern blood, bone, organs, skin, your hair, all things in your body. Be in this energy and this frequency and move it down through your body and out your feet. Anchor this frequency that you created. This is how you call back your fundamental ray, your ray only you can have. And as you're directing it into the very heart core of Mother Earth and giving it a direction to anchor into, you will be able to call back this feeling, this clarity anytime. And as it was recommended, be the practice, be the harmony. This is a vibrational harmony that no one can take from you. You can only give it away or forget to practice. So you're remembering, this is you. Now go back into your heart space and awaken that heart. What a combination of gifts, a combination of energies, a combination of ideas, of perceptions, all right here sharing for you to be your highest potential. Feel that expansion of harmony. And then if any of you would like to share your experience or share with us, we are taking phone calls at 435-879-4100. Again, that is 435-879-4100. And we'd like to thank you for listening to Live with Nicole and remind you can get a hold of us at energyhealingbydesign.com. And we take emails of questions and healings online. Some people, I know it's hard to call in. So we have other ways for you to be able to do the mini healings. Again, that is send a request through energyhealingbydesign.com or Live with Nicole. And the phones are open if you are feeling inspired to share your experience or an experience of healing. So share your experience with us, Dennis.
My experience, I find that it's powerful. I love listening to it. I love tuning in. I love bringing myself into my own core, my own inner channel, my own heart space. And as I do that, I feel embodied. I feel grounded. And as I consider and just consider those vibrations, that light, that energy, I feel grounded, but I also feel enlightened. So there's a stretch, deep to the bottom and up high. So that's kind of my experience with it.
So mine was it was really interesting because I got this beautiful volcano of beauty because of this. I got the opportunity to be on a phone call. I was actually in my bedroom today doing a phone call. I could feel Nico walk into my house, and then I could hear him start to chant. And I'm on a call, losing my train of thought, kind of like now. But so I started almost like spiraling into a vibrational acceptance. Because you don't really realize how your body refuses what feels good, because you're so used to what of the heavier the when I say heavy, it's because emotions are heavy, stress is heavy, but you get this light activation of consciousness, and your body starts to feel light. And so the first thing for me that goes is usually my voice. So it was really interesting to be on the phone and just like do a coaching call and go completely blank. So it almost was like it started just spiraling into that observing space with like very clear, like very clear. This last time I looked him in the eyes and I'm like, oh, there's the white light that we're sharing. So what I got to feel, and I love you guys to call if you feel inspired, if especially a lot of you already sense, feel, and know the white light. But that white light that we share in the meetings and the gatherings and here, that white light was literally expanded and opened. So tonight when we have this gathering, you guys are going to experience that light in many more degrees, because I did myself through each vibrational shift in his voice. I also was able to awaken a little more pieces of this reality as light. So yeah.
Well, I come down here, got on a plane this morning in Phoenix, and come down and meet you. And having met, so this is all an adventure for me. But the one thing that I would like to leave your audience with is that there's a lot of information out there. If you want to try chanting as a practice, there's lots of ways that you can get at that and try it yourself. And in fact, the Buddha says, chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo and see what happens. That was one. It's like, talk about a challenge.
Yeah.
Just chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo and see what happens. And there's a lot of things that does happen.
Yeah, we will try that. We do have a caller, so we are going to go ahead and take that if they're still there. Hello, you are live with Nicole.
Hi.
Hello. Who do we have the privilege to speak with?
This is Gigi.
Oh, hello, Gigi. How is Gigi? What questions do you have for us?
I think what I've witnessed today in the interaction that you are having is coming from a Christian background and also witnessing what you're doing today. It's like a live prayer to me. It feels like a live prayer.
Okay.
And I think that might be something that those that might have to understand what chanting is versus prayer is, this is what moved me today when I heard Nico chant. It was, it felt like in the description that you both are giving, as well as Dennis, it was a live prayer that was happening.
That's cool.
Yeah, and thank you, and just the energies behind it. The New Earth energies, or this energy on
Well, and that is, I mean, chanting
Sunday's
is praying. I guess it's like the Buddhist practice is open-eyed and open-voiced. Okay, so there's different practices, but kyo, the part of Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, does mean with my voice, right? So it's chanting devoted to the law of cause and effect through the power of my voice. Basically, it's pretty simple, and it is a live prayer. Thank you. It's supposed to be very alive. In fact, the Buddha says that Nam Myoho Renge Kyo is like the roar of a lion, so it's supposed to be really alive as we chant.
It's beautiful to listen to all of you today. It really is.
Well, thank you.
And I've been in a spiritual practice for a very long time in many modalities. And this today felt so authentic, so real, so palpable. And I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And
sharing that.
You're welcome. I just want to share that I was talking about the Sunday, the Earth energy. It was Earth Day, right? And I got this overwhelming feeling of gratitude and love, and I was like high energy. And then my friends had called me and said that they had this major, they do a silent meditation. It's not called really anything, but they all it's everything, I guess. And they just sit and they just have this prayer or then this silence, this chant that. And I could feel it. And these beautiful women were in Hawaii. So thank you for sharing that, how real that these prayer energies, whatever it looks like to you, it's about feeling that love and energy within inside of your heart and making it work for you. So
thank you very much for the call.
For my body for the whole entire time you've been on the phone. Like I've had chills. The whole time.
Good. Well, thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you all.
Thank you for the call. We appreciate it.
Have an amazing rest of the day.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
We had a question right here. It says, where do I find your YouTube video? What's it called?
My YouTube video.
So if I wanted, I guess it's referring to where do I find the YouTube? You probably have it up on.
Just put in Lotus Sutra, and I'm the one with the blue lotus. There's a lot of them on there, but my chanting is the one with the blue lotus flower, and it's got about 4.5 million hits.
And we'll also put the link in the comments. We can do that after the show too. So it will be in the comments, and you can just click on it, and it'll go right to Nico's chanting page. So if you can't find it, then there's another option for you. So the energies for the New Earth energies, the prayer and the blessings and the silent meditation, all this combination of different vibrational realities. I find it very intriguing that we sit here and I feel my listeners. I feel them from the depths of my soul, and I keep hearing the Buddha, and then I keep hearing this religious. Probably I don't ever bring that up, but I could feel that tension. Prayer and that blessing. What does it mean? I want to share with all of you beautiful people to let go of what words mean to you or what you think they mean, and open up to, wow, what just happened in my body that felt so amazing. And I do feel blessed because I don't have the learned belief systems that everybody has. I get to explore this world as a child. And like Nico said, you're never too old to be a child.
I said you're never too old to have a happy childhood.
Yes, there you go. How can that show up? How can that show up in your world right now? You have these beautiful souls, and I can guarantee each one of you feel me right now, right in the depths of your heart. How can you not want to jump in those mud puddles, to do a cartwheel, and just absolutely be in love with who you are right now? And
my attraction to Buddhism was always joy. That's the only goal for Buddhism is we're always shooting for joy. I says I'll do it. I'll do that. Yeah, sure.
And I absolutely loved when I was sitting in the circles with the masters in the Buddha in Taiwan.
There's a lot of laughing.
Yeah, and
a lot of laughing.
And I did ask about the Christ light. I said, you know what? They asked me. They said, you have one of the brightest Christ lights that we have seen. Did you do that when you crossed over? And I said, yes. And they said, well, the Christ light is in everyone, and we are all one. And they shared that experience with me. It looks like we have another caller right before we go off. Let's go ahead and get this. Let's see if Nicole can do this. Hello, you are on Live with Nicole. How can we?
Hi, Nicole. This is Kathleen. Can you hear me?
I
Yes.
can. Hello, Kathleen.
How are you?
I'm doing super amazing. How about you? We have about 3 minutes, so let's hear how we can best assist you in our 3 minutes.
I just wanted to say very quickly what I felt during the chant.
Yay!
Just this extremely deep resonance vibration, but in the center of that was a stillness, very still. It was beautiful. I just wanted to say thank you.
You are welcome. Welcome.
Thank
I
you.
can feel those tears coming. Thank you for sharing that with us. Send that through your
They
whole
are.
body.
Go explore.
Yeah.
Go explore.
And you know what, beautiful soul, remember to ground that right into the heart core of Mother Earth, because when you have that divine flow coming to you right now, and I just tapped into you, when you have that divine flow flowing through you like it is, like just this mass energy, it has to go somewhere. To be embodied and create a difference inside of your body. Move that right into the heart core of Mother Earth. Breathe that up and feel it expand through every cell of your body.
That's the joy.
That is the joy.
About what 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was with had a meeting. We were doing virtual reality. I was showing Elder Jeffrey R. Holland.
Do we have any more do we have any more questions, Kathleen, or should we, or do you want to share anything else with your experience before we jump over to Dennis? No, she must
Did
have hung up.
we lose her?
Yep.
I think
we love learning new things. This brings Nicole
so
joy
great.
because you know what? I just jump feet first into everything. Rather,
it's
I know
about
what
the
I'm
joy.
doing
It's all
than
about
not.
the joy.
The most amazing thing is I don't know I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
so here we go.
True. So
So-
true. I was just saying, there's so many modalities for practicing, whether it's Buddhism, whether it's in the Mormon faith, whether it's in Catholic faith, whether it's in a Baptist faith, Judaism, all sorts of different things. And the real magic is when you see the joy, when you meet people from different walks of life, and when they step into their own authentic joy. That's magic. That's absolutely magical.
That is, and the oneness of of all, really all paths that lead to the light, right? Is really what we are bringing here today, and to really feel it in your heart, because it's your truth that matters, nobody else's.
And it's like the truth is true and nothing else is true, okay? And I'm pretty well studied in the Course in Miracles too, and I think one of the biggest things that it says is that, I love this, the separation from God occurred when the Son of God forgot to remember to laugh. And it's like, think about, can you be separate from the life force? I don't think so, because you're dead when you're separate from the life force, okay? My brother just did it last night. My brother just passed on and did his transition last night about 1 o'clock. And as a Buddhist, because I've been talking to him, and the suffering has gotten to be where I know, I know as opposed to believe that life is eternal. So I've just been chanting for the last week for please the gates to open so that he can move on to the next step. Okay, it's like
So it looks like that is our cue. And
it
so,
is.
So tonight we're going to be holding a gathering that Nico will be doing his chanting. We'll also be doing a meditation. And how you will find out about that is go to energyhealingbydesign.com or on Facebook, Radio St. George live, and also Live with Nicole will also have that details on there. Thank you very much. And until next week, have an amazing weekend.